Okay, guys, Adam Trigger here. It is Thursday morning, Major League Baseball opening day. By 3 p.m. Eastern time this afternoon, we are off and running on the bases, although I'd argue that we've been off and running. KBO started last week. I'm already 2-1 there to start the season. Looking forward to Major League Baseball starting this afternoon, and then, of course, AAA baseball starting tomorrow. So it's an exciting time. We still have the basketball going on, but we're here to talk baseball today. And we have a great special right now at Wager Talk, 7 days of MLB for just $49. So that's essentially the first week of the baseball season, $49, about the cost of like two picks that would be put up for individual sales. So that's a great deal. Check that out. That's good for any baseball handicapper. Should be in the drop-down menu. But we're here today to talk A's Mariners, one of the night games tonight, one of the games going up against the college basketball games. So might not be the biggest, viewership game, but, no less important than any of the teams starting their first game of 162 today. And I'll talk generally first about these two teams. So I guess I'll start with this. I like the A's, and I like A's plus 1.5. That would be my play for this game. The only reason I'm not playing it is the price. A's plus 1.5, currently minus 150. I would want that about 30 cents cheaper to make this an actual best bet. I would have needed like minus 120 or better on that. But it doesn't make me sort of like the setup, the spot, so on and so forth any less. And I will tell you that I am looking for a spot in with the A's in this series. So I'll start with like the Mariners and why I kind of think they're a fade this season. The Mariners have now won 85 or more games in 4 straight years. Okay. So 4 straight seasons of the Mariners winning. I think it went like 90, 90, and then like 88, 85, something like that. So once again, like to no surprise, they are priced as an 85 to 90 win option. I don't even do futures anymore. I don't have their season win total like off the top of my head, but if I remember correctly, it's like 85, 86 wins. And I have a feeling that this team day to day is going to be priced as like that type of option, and almost probably inflated because we know the pricing of a lot of these games is contingent on the starting pitcher, and the Mariners have elite pitching, and they did last year as well. Their team ERA was either the best or one of the best in Major League Baseball. I think low threes for a team ERA last year for the Mariners. They have elite starting pitching, but I look at this Mariners roster and a couple things. Like, one, it's the same as it was last year, basically. They didn't really do anything in terms of like big, like they didn't really go out and acquire anyone, which is fine. I don't think you like necessarily need to do that when you have a team that won 85 games, but they hit 224 as a team last year. And like, that's kind of like what I would be surprised if it's significantly this different this year. I think the Mariners are going to need to win they're going to need like serious, like variance in their favor in one-run games to get anywhere near that win total, to get anywhere like to be a better than 500 team this year, in my opinion. They were 10th in the American League in runs scored last year. It's not very good. And I look at this Mariners lineup, and it's like I'm seeing like Julio Rodriguez, Randy Arozarena. Like, one of those guys needs a huge bounce back, in my opinion. Arozarena was pretty good when he got to Seattle. When he did get to Seattle, but like J-Rod was down last year, and I don't know. Can you truly count on those two being like driving the offensive production? Having like the big year that J-Rod was down a little bit. Like, is he going to revert to his form of a couple years ago? I don't know. Like, a lot of questions with the Mariners and how they're scoring runs, in my opinion. And if they are going to get priced as this elite option, which they absolutely will, especially when they've got like a Logan Gilbert on the mound who you have today, or almost anyone in that rotation, I think they're going to be kind of a fade, especially if you can find good spots to fade them with a plus 1.5. Because again, I think the Mariners are going to be in like one-run game after one-run game. I don't think they're going to blow many teams out. this season. So, but that starting pitcher, especially when it's a Gilbert, who, I don't love the idea of going against him, but like if he's going to be overpriced, it's, there's still many scenarios where Logan Gilbert throws a good game and the Mariners win by 1, or they lose a close game. So that's kind of how I'm looking here, and that's kind of how I'm looking at this series in general. I love the A's, okay? Relative to where the market has them, I love the A's. I made a very bold statement at the end of last season when the A's were starting to play good ball, that the A's would win the AL West this year. Now, I don't believe that's going to happen. I guess I'll pump the brakes a little bit there. I still think the Mariners and the Rangers are going to be like pretty tough for the other teams to catch. And if someone was going to catch them, it's probably the Astros. So the logical choice in this division would be Astros, Mariners, Rangers. But I absolutely think the A's could get themselves in the mix. I think they could play 500 ball. I don't think that's an unreasonable ceiling for this Oakland, Sacramento, just the Athletics, whatever we're calling them this year. I don't think 500 baseball is an unreasonable ceiling for this team. They have a ton of young talent. That's why I liked them so much toward the end of the year last year. That, a lot of guys came through the system, made their way up to the big league club toward the end of the year, and they're still here. And, you've got a guy like Jacob Wilson, who ended up being, getting called up earlier in the year, got hurt. I think he would have broke out last year had he not gotten hurt on that like fluke kind of rounding the base. I think he tweaked a hamstring, ended up being out for a little while. He could be the rookie of the year in the American League. And I don't think he's really, priced in as like, I don't think there's that kind of expectation for him. I think I saw he was like 8-1, 9-1, something like that in rookie of the year voting. I think he could be a huge breakout. You've got a guy like Lawrence Butler who broke out last year. Brett Rooker stayed. And like, that's the other thing too. Like, I really think the guys that are there want to be there. You started to hear some of them be a little bit more outspoken about it toward the end of the last year when the Oakland Coliseum was about to close and they were going to play their final game there. But, this is if you're a A's player, I mean, this is awesome. Like you're building toward, if you stay with the team for a couple of years, you might end up in Las Vegas in a beautiful new ballpark. For now, like playing in Sacramento is not a terrible deal in comparison to where the A's were last year. This is a 14,000 seat ballpark. I'm sure the local fans are going to embrace them, having a big league team there. I expect them to get good crowds, much better crowds than they had in Oakland last year. And, it should be a solid baseball environment, which the Coliseum really wasn't until the end of the year when fans started to show up. So I think the A's, I think there's a lot to like about this team. You've got solid pitching. There's some really good relievers, some really good young relievers that are emerging. Obviously Mason Miller, but there's others that are emerging as like potential key like bullpen guys. The bullpen could be pretty good. And they finally spent a little bit of money. Luis Severino is going to start this game. He signed like the biggest guaranteed deal in the history of the club. And, all of that, I think, is going to feed into the momentum of what is a pretty good team on the field, a pretty underrated team on the field, just with the guys I named, Butler, Rooker, Wilson, and then, some of the other, young players that are going to fill out that lineup. Severino, when he's been healthy, he's been solid. So, you go back to last year, he really he had that one blow up start, which of course was his first start of the season for the Mets. Ended up having a really strong season, but from memory, I was like, okay, well, does he come out of the gate slow? He had that one bad start and then had a 1.80 ERA in April last year. The year before, his season didn't start till June, so that was kind of one of the years that was hampered by injury. The year before that, he was pretty good out of the gate, and I think if you look at his career, you kind of know what you're going to get with him. And when he's healthy, he's been very solid. So again, I don't expect anything different here for Severino against a Mariners team that just doesn't really hit the ball that well. So again, A's plus 1.5 makes all the sense in the world to me here, especially with the fact that you're getting the visiting team, kind of get that extra at bat. Just couldn't get there with the price. So that will remain a free play for me today. A's plus 1.5. It is minus 150. And if you're adverse to that type of juice, I totally get it. Maybe just play A's plus 1. That's going to be more in that minus 110 range. If they lose by 1, you're getting your money back. But this is a game the A's can win. And like I said, I will be actively searching for a spot to jump in with the A's in this series. I just didn't get the price I wanted today. But to make sure you get that play and all my other plays, check out that 7-day MLB special that we have running right now. I have not locked in anything for opening day yet, but it's likely that I will. But it's going to be a long season. We're going to have a ton of action in the first week. So I hope you join me. We had a tremendous second half of baseball last year, and I'm going to carry that into this season. We've already started off in KBO with winners, and we're going to find some in MLB as well. So free pick today, A's plus 1.5. Everyone enjoy opening day. We'll see you guys back here for more baseball free picks tomorrow morning.